Hello, it's Christine. Welcome to book club episode 12. I'm looking very nerdy today. I know, I have my glasses. I was a little too lazy to put in my contacts because it's Sunday. Anyway, for the last few weeks, I've been reading the Vampire Academy books. Today, we are talking about the Vampire Academy books. Now, you're like, why is she showing her iPod and not a Vampire Academy book? Well, I've been reading them on my iPad. I am currently on book 4, wow. Vampire Academy books by Richelle Mead, and like when I first heard about them, I was pretty skeptical because I was like, Vampire Academy, and I went into it really skeptical. I started reading it. Look at that, that's scary. That's Olivia. Whoa, I feel like such a nerd, I'm sorry. Vampire Academy right here. Click on it. No. There we go. And it opens up. Wow. See? It's so cool. Today, I'm going to talk about the first 2 Vampire Academy books. The first one being called Vampire Academy. They're by Richelle Mead, remember? Yeah, I'm going to take off the glasses now that I can't really see. Like I was saying, so I went into this series like really skeptical because I'm like, Vampire Academy, it sounds dumb. And like the first book, like halfway through, it's like, this is okay, I'm not in love with it. But then by the end, I was like, oh, actually, this is really interesting. And then by the second one, I was like, oh my god, actually, I'm really invested in these characters now. A lot of the things I was like, this is going to happen, and it did. But I don't care, it was a very enticing story. Today, we're talking about the first one, Vampire Academy. I really like it. It's a really good series, and I highly recommend if you like anything to do with vampires, if you like the high school drama-ish thing. I'll tell you a little bit about it just so you know if you'd like to read this. The girl's name is Rose, and she's a dehamper. A dehamper is half vampire, half human. It's like what we would call Renesmee, I guess, but like these are totally different types of vampires, so let me explain first. First, it was confusing. I was like, were you confused at first? You're like, what are all these names? Like, there's different kind of vampires? Okay, so dehamper is the result of a human having a kid with a Moroi vampire. Now, there's 2 different types of vampires. Moroi vampires aren't like the actual, like, the vampires we think of. They're not immortal, and they live. They grow old, and they're born. They're not made like vampires are usually made. They can't have babies. But Moroi are different, and they can go out in the sun, even though it makes them weaker. Each individual person, like, develops a specialty type of magic, usually in one of the 4 elements: earth, wind, water, or fire. They live, and they do feed off people, but they have humans that volunteer to be fed off of, called feeders, and they volunteer because when a Moroi bites you, you get this shot of like endorphins, so it's kind of like you're high for a little bit, and people get addicted to the high, and so they volunteer to be feeders, but they're not killed from the feeding or anything. If a Moroi does kill someone when they're feeding, they turn into a bad type of vampire, which has no soul, called a Strigoi. Strigoi can only come out in the night. They burn in the sunlight. Strigoi like the Moroi blood the best. Moroi, they use the dehampers as guardians. Dehampers are stronger than Moroi. They're more durable, but they also have heightened senses because they're half Moroi, half human. They guard the Moroi. They're stronger, and they're trained to fight off these Strigoi, which can be killed by a stake through the heart, cutting off their head, or being set on fire. That's my brief little synopsis of the world. So if that sounds interesting to you, and it is interesting, you should check these out. Okay, so let's talk about the first book in the Vampire Academy series called The Vampire Academy. Yeah, I know, creative title for the first one. Good job, Richelle Mead. No, I'm just kidding. I like it. I like it, because how else are we supposed to know what we're reading, right? Right. 2 characters are Rose and Lisa. We meet Rose and stuff. Like, did you like Rose at first? At first, she was kind of annoying. Rose has this bond to Lisa, and we don't really understand it yet, but it's like a psychic bond. Rose can hear Lisa's thoughts, and sometimes she could slip into her head, so Rose is like seeing through Lisa's eyes. At first, she doesn't understand how this happens. It just happens sometimes when Lisa has these strong emotions. It just pulls her in there. But Rose comes to realize that she can actually slip into it herself and control, like, the actual going into Lisa's head. It's only a one-way bond. Rose can feel and see what Lisa's thinking, but Lisa can't communicate with Rose. Anyway, so each Moroi, as I said, specializes in one of the 4 elements, and Lisa hadn't specialized in an element yet. And they come back to school because they had left for 2 years. Rose felt that Lisa was threatened, so they escaped from the academy where they live, and Rose has grown up her whole life. And they ran around for 2 years with the humans, like staying at college campuses and stuff like that. Hard kind of to talk about these books because there's a lot of in-depth in the world-ish type things. Let's talk about the whole Rose-Dimitri relationship. I was not expecting that at all in the beginning. I didn't see Dimitri as like her potential love interest because she was so much older than him. I don't know, I pictured him as like a teacher and stuff, not as like this hot 24-year-old guy. I wasn't looking at him like that until someone tweeted me and was like, oh my god, you're reading the Vampire Academy? Dimitri Hart. And I was like, Dimitri Hart? Oh my god, didn't get together with Dimitri? He's like, I was crushing on my mentor, crushing on my older mentor. I had to be out of my mind. He was 7 years older than me. Old enough to be my, well, okay, nothing. Yeah, he is not old enough to be your dad, or old enough, maybe your uncle, but your young uncle. That's about it. I thought that was really funny. Who do you picture as Dimitri? I cannot picture him with long hair. I just constantly picture him as having short hair. I feel like shoulder length hair, I just don't like that unless it's on Orlando Bloom or Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know. Like, what actor do you see as him? I really don't. Because they're making this a movie, apparently. The rights have been optioned. It's not officially made. I can't picture a Rose either. A lot of people have said Megan Fox, and, like, Megan Fox is a terrible actress, and I would never want her as Rose. Because Rose is, like, badass and awesome. Who do you think? Let me know, because, like, I want to, like, picture somebody. Christian. Okay. From the beginning, I was like, Christian is going to be awesome, and I guarantee Lisa and Christian are going to get together, and what happens? Spirit, did you see that coming? Because I was like, she can heal things. What is wrong with you people? And then obviously they knew that, but she just wasn't saying it. Like, this book has a way of, like, releasing the information about, like, once it's obvious to us, Rose is like, oh, and this happened, so she already knows this. She just hasn't been telling us. Which is interesting, but it's just like, I feel like they're dumb, and then she actually tells me they're not dumb. I don't know. It was just weird. Victor, what's his name, and Natalie. Okay, Natalie's little betrayal at the end, I was not seeing that coming. I was like, oh my god, she just feels so cool in their little clique. And then, like, she turns on them and goes all Strigoi. Like, what the hell, Natalie? I thought she was, like, good friends with them. And, you know, her dad, like, the actual thing he's fighting for, it makes a lot of sense. And in the beginning, I was like, why the hell do the DeHamper spend their lives just protecting these Moroi, and they have no lives of their own? Like, they're slaves. And that's what I was thinking. Like, they act like they're slaves, and they're just, like, born. It's like house elf. Like, I'm born into this, and this is what I'm gonna do, and I don't like it. They're, like, insulted when people go and do their own things. Like, there's this couple, these two DeHampers, and two DeHampers are not supposed to, like, run away and get married together because it's such a waste of two DeHampers. They could be guarding Moroi, and they're all like, oh god, they're terrible people. Like, the DeHampers are saying this about the other DeHampers. And I'm like, they're just going and doing their own thing. They're not here to live for you, for the Moroi. I mean, it's like when Dobby asks to get paid in, like, in the 4th book by Dumbledore, and Dumbledore offers, of course, to pay him. But the other house elves, like, look down upon him. Like, I can't believe he would ask for that. He brings shame upon the house elves. Blah, blah, blah. Guys, step back and take a look at what the hell you're doing. You are a slave. And the reason, this grand reason the DeHampers need to protect the Moroi is because they can only reproduce with the Moroi. They're like mules. If they have sex, they can't have a kid with the DeHamper, and DeHamper human can't have kids. But DeHamper Moroi can have kids. But Moroi are looked down upon if they get married to the DeHampers, who guard them for their whole entire lives, which is just racist. And Moroi need DeHampers, or else they have no one to guard them, because they can't guard themselves, because they're too lazy to learn how to fight. People do that for them. So, what was I just saying? Oh, so these Moroi guys, they go have sex with DeHamper women, then just leave them to raise the kids, and then they just do this all the time, and then they end up getting married to Moroi, because Moroi and Moroi like to get married. They have royals, which I think is so 15th, 16th century. Like, are you kidding me? You still go by royals? They have a queen. The queen makes the decisions. They have royal families, and royal families get special treatment still, and non-royals are looked more down upon, and yeah. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about Victor Dashafashfa. His whole thing is to get rid of Strigoi. the bad vampires, you know, that kill people, really strong and really fast, but they lose their magic when they become the Strigoi if you're a Moroi. Victor's whole thing was the Guardians and their Moroi that they guard should be fighting side by side, and Moroi have magic that they can use to help fight. But since they're stuck in these traditions where the Guardians do all the fighting for them and they just stand there helpless, there's no way that they're ever gonna get rid of all the Strigoi. And they don't ever go out and actively seek the Strigoi. They wait for them to come to them, and then they kill a Strigoi that attack them. And that's never gonna work either. So you could see a war is building, because eventually they're gonna change this. You know, a change is coming. Lisa can heal things. And I didn't get that whole dead animal thing in the beginning. And it was just like, what? Like, why is someone leaving dead animals for Lisa? I don't understand. But then I understood that she was healing. Like, he wanted to see that she could heal them. Or whatever. Anyway, Lisa's a spirit user. This fifth element that no one ever knew about. In the beginning, I was like, immediately, when they were talking about Vladimir and how he healed the sick and how he had Anna, her Shadow Kiss guardian. Immediately, I'm like, that's just like you guys. So obviously, Lisa can heal, and so can Mrs. Carp, who she was also cryptic about in the beginning. And they're both like Lisa. And Shadow Kiss is obviously the bond. And it takes her forever to figure this out. Was that frustrating for you? I was so frustrated. Okay, so I have these clips from when I was actually reading the first Vampire Academy book because I was getting a little frustrated. And I wanted to, like, say my theories. So here's... Rose is so dumb because, obviously, Mason likes you. Are you retarded? Now, they're all talking about how Lisa hasn't specialized yet. Obviously, Lisa is something special. And obviously, Mrs. Carp isn't crazy. Obviously, she could heal people. And obviously, it's just like St. Vladimir, who the church is named after, who could also heal people. Obviously, it's this rare special talent. So I'm thinking, obviously, Lisa is going to have this talent. And it probably just develops later on, and people just don't know about it because it's so rare. And obviously, and then she touched a raven, and it just came back to life. So obviously, she has like an extended power where she could raise the dead. So obviously, this is why people are after her, because she's a special ability that no one has. Someone is trying to catch her in the act, and they wanted to touch the fox and bring it back to life. I don't know the big overarch of the story yet, but I'm just saying there's some things that I think are pretty obvious. Victor, and every time she heals him, like, spirit comes out of yourself, so it's like taking a piece of your sanity every time you heal them. And so she like goes a little insane. She cuts herself when she uses her magic because it makes her emotions run wild. So in the end, Rose and Christian save, and Dimitri and everyone go and save her. Victor tells Natalie to go turn Strigoi to help him get out of jail, and she turns Strigoi, and Rose cannot take her at all. We learn kind of like how inexperienced or how not ready she is to fight Strigoi, because she's all pumped to kill things and temper, and she just wants to strangle people like Strigoi, and she thinks she can do it no problem. But really, we see when she first tries to fight Natalie, that like Strigoi are really strong, and she is not ready for this. She just gets whipped around by her so easily, but Natalie ends up being killed by Dimitri, Roy, and that's book 1. So like, I don't know. Did you feel like this book was kind of predictable? That's what I thought. I was reading book 1, but I still enjoyed it. It was still a good read, but not as like, what's gonna happen? I was just like, how is this going to unfold? Which is also interesting. And that whole lust charm with Dimitri, I was like, what the hell is going on? You just said someone captured Lisa, and then you just forgot? I mean, obviously I knew something was happening, but I didn't understand that it was like the necklace that she was wearing that was like driving a lust charm with her and Dimitri. It was just so like, what? I didn't know they could put magic in like things, but now we know for next time. Okay, I thought this was going to be books 1 and 2, but unfortunately, this is so long. Like, I have to put 2 in, like, a second one. So, 2 is going to be its own... I have this new ringtone. Isn't it awesome? Aww. What was I saying? Oh, okay. Thanks for watching. There's going to be another book club just for Book 2, Frostbite by Richelle Mead of the Vampire Academy series, so be sure to watch that. Okay, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's twitter.com/XTINEMAY, and it'll be in the bottom bar, the link. And add us on Facebook, facebook.com/CMRProductions with a Z at the end. I'll see you next time. Bye!